Hello Flosstube friends and welcome. I am Lisa and this is my channel Cross by Floss, where I share the love of cross stitching and have some light blabbings. So if you are a new subscriber, thank you so much for joining me, finding me. And if you came here from a shout out from somebody else, please let me know in the comments. I actually do read the comments. I don't always comment on the comments. I know it's bad, but I do heart them all. And then if you're a returning subscriber, thank you, welcome. Today there's probably a lot more life blabbings and haul than there is stitching. These last 2 weeks, it's work has been super busy. I've been having a lot of internet issues, and so that's taken a lot longer to get my job done. And it's been frustrating. Plus it's been nice outside, so I've spent some time outside. And then I have a lot of things to talk about. But pretty much haul, I got a lot of haul. That's actually not true. I don't have a lot of haul. I'm also going to talk about plants because, I have a plant fetish. So, yeah, so how about we get into it? All right, so today is August 1st, and I want to talk about something that was started a couple of years ago by Kia B. That's Kia B, I believe, on Instagram and on Flosstube, and I will link her below. But she started a thread, hashtag on Instagram called the Common Threaded Stitcher. Common Threaded Stitcher. And again, I'll link all this below. It was started, I believe, in 2019. And she talks about why she started it. But basically the premise is that, she was just sitting in a room full of stitchers and realized that the common denominator of everyone basically is that everybody loves cross stitch. And so, the things that bind us together is thread and floss and cross stitching. And so she, every day in a month that she picked, and I can't remember if it started in August or not, I don't remember, but anyway, every day of that month she had a new prompt. And so you went in and you did the prompt of the day if you're interested, and then you tagged the group, and it was started with her and her husband Pam and Steph, of just keep stitching, and Cooter on a Log, yeah, were the original. There may have been another person, and I apologize, I don't remember. But anyways, it was just such a great way to get to know other people in the community, because not everybody has a floss tube, and plus there's a lot of floss tubes to watch, right? So, and there's only so many hours in a day, a week, a lifetime to watch, and so, scrolling through and seeing people and getting to see a face to their work, and that it was pretty cool. And so my personal story, I came back to stitching in 2017, and I actually came back to stitching first, and then I found diamond painting. And I had another channel that I did a little bit of cross stitching on, but mostly it was diamond painting, and I don't do that channel anymore, and I've come back to cross stitch more on a full-time scale. However, I do still do diamond painting. I have some customs that were done for me by my daughter, and they're lovely. And so, there's so much wall space you have, and you need to pick and choose kind of what you're doing. And for the most part, diamond painting, the pieces need to be a good size in order to really show what they are, because they can become very pixelated. And so for the most part, I'm not saying everyone, nor am I a diamond painting expert. I have a lot of diamond paintings, but I am not an expert. And but I had started that, but 2019, when I started this channel, was it 2019? Something like that. And I came over and made this channel, Cross by Floss. I then started saw that hashtag and thought, well, you know, none of my friends, my family, nobody in my community of circle of peeps cross stitch. And so it was just very interesting. So go and have a look at, it starts August 1st today, and it's an intro of yourself is the prompt for today, you know, introduce yourself. And so again, I will link that down below. So that is my story about, you know, why the common threaded stitcher was so important, and following that hashtag and meeting some really lovely people. And I've gotten some really wonderful friends out of that. So, so that's that. Okay, so what has happened in the last little while? Mr. G came home. His truck was again needing to be fixed, and he also needed to get his second COVID shot. Now, when my son and we had ours done the week before him, and we were down. We were Friday, more Saturday, the day after. By Sunday, my son started feeling just fine. It took me until the afternoon of that Sunday to feel better. Well, Mr. G came home and he had his shot Tuesday evening. Wednesday, Thursday, he was down. Now, you know, for everybody who is like, oh, I've heard that people get sick or, you know, have a lot of side effects for the second COVID shot. Yes, there are for some people, and that's okay. Because, I mean, like my daughter says, it's the antibodies doing their germy work, you know, the things that you need to have done in your body, get them done. But you know, honestly, he's been down with a cold way worse. So, you know, for like a week. And so 2 days, yes, he was tired. He slept. He had a little bit of a bruise on his arm. But you know what? We are all vaccinated and all good. Now, we did make the decision, and we've made the decision because we have an unvaccinated child in our family, that all of us who go out into public, we continue to wear a mask. Not because we're not vaccinated, but because we, you know, you can still be a carrier, or that's what the CDC has said. And so anyways, I'm not preaching. I'm just saying that, yes, you know, if you choose to, you hear these stories, yes, but I mean, again, I've been down with a cold, as has Mr. G or anybody in our house. And honestly, for the last year, none of us have been sick. So I take this as a win if we're down for a couple of days. So anyways, yes, he was down for a few days. And then my youngest came home. He needed his brakes fixed. So him and Mr. G spent some time on the weekends, fixing his brakes. And that was nice to be able to see my youngest. And he's going through a rough time right now. He broke up with his girlfriend, the one I don't like. And so he is, you know, going through a bit of a rough time. So, but it was nice to see him. And then, okay, I told you guys, there's going to be a lot of life blabbing. So when you see me hold up cross stitch, you can fast forward if you're not interested in life blabbings. So my daughter, I think I've explained this before. My daughter works full time as a MA and a clinic coordinator in a couple of clinics here. And then, but she's also going to school to become an esthetician. So she's doing that at night. And while they're in school, they need people, you know, models, they call them models, to come and, you know, have facials and things, right? So I knew that there was gonna be like this element of waxing, and, you know, there's gonna be some micro dermaplaning, that done this week, I think. I'm afraid, please pray for me. But you know, the facials have been lovely. That's been awesome. So then there were 2 weeks of waxing. There's more than that, but I've done 2 weeks of waxing. I go in once a week and be her model. Not only do I get all those things, I get to pay for it too, which that's fun. It is what it is. Anyways, so, you know, I grew out my leg hair. I'm gonna be honest. I don't go anywhere. I wear yoga pants all the time. Like there's, you know, and I will say that as I've gotten older, I don't get as much hair as I used to when I was younger. And so, yeah. So anyways, the teacher came over. This was the funny part. The teacher came over and she's like, well, thank you so much for growing your leg hair out for like a week or a month for, you know, us to be able to do the waxing. And I'm like, a month, okay. Oh man. But now that she's waxed my legs, I started wearing dresses again because I'm like, ooh, all right. Anywho, okay, so she, you know, she's doing the wax. Now, the school uses really good beauty products and they probably use a fairly decent wax, but you know, it's going through a bunch of students and they practice on themselves during the week and then they practice on their models on the days that the models come in. And so the waxing is not, it's probably not as high quality as what you would get in a salon. Okay, I know it isn't. So anyways, she put it on. You can really smell the petroleum products in it. Like you can really smell them. And so she put it on, you know, and there's 2 types of waxes. She does a hot wax first and, you know, she puts muslin on and she goes to rip it. Well, I almost cried. I don't do waxing. I do sugaring on my face, which is a lot gentler because I have sensitive skin and really thick hair, thick stubborn hair. And the 2 are not a great combination. And so, yeah, so when she pulled that first strip off, oh man, you guys, oh man. And of course, we're both like killing ourselves laughing and I'm about in tears. And I'm like, how many more of these have we got to go? It's only the first strip. Anyways, you know, we're getting close to the end, right? Like she's done the fronts, now she's doing the backs. And we get to the backs and I turn around and I'm like, hey honey, when you have your own salon or your own space, are you offering wax as one of your services? And you should have seen her face, right? Like she's wearing a mask. I am not. Oh no, I was. Yes, because it wasn't a facial. And she looks at me and I can just tell by the eyebrows, right? And she's like, why? Am I not doing a good job? I'm like, oh, that's not it. I mean, I know that you're still learning. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. She's like, are you trying to tell me I'm doing a bad job? Like, okay, but here's the thing. My daughter has really sweet, delicate hands. She has very fine fingers. She does not have a lot of strength in her hands. In fact, that's one of the issues that she's had. And she's just a little light touchy, you know. She's not gonna go to massage school, okay? And so when she pulls off that first strip, you know, and you're supposed to put your hand down to, you know, help with the burn. And her hands are so light and small, it doesn't cover the actual area that just got ripped out. And so I'm like, okay, we're good. Anyways, I survived that and I came back the next week for facial waxing. She did a much better job. Yeah, much better. That week in between, I think she'll be fine. Just do facials, honey. And then the next week I got a facial, which was lovely. And it was like a light chemical peel. I've had all kinds of like these great custom facials. I had a seaweed wrap. It was awesome. My skin is so light. But here's the thing, like I have very good genetics apparently. I don't get a lot of breakouts in my face. My skin is not super oily and I don't take care of it either. I'm horrible. I am very bad. And so I don't always wear sunscreen when I'm supposed to. I don't always moisturize when I'm supposed to. I don't take my makeup off. I'm really, really bad at, so it's amazing that my skin is as good as it is. So she loves, you know, working because there's not a lot of things that she needs to do to, you know, balance things or anything. So anyways, yeah, that happened. And then what else happened? Ooh. This past week, Lady Robbins on Instagram and Flosstube, she reached out and said that she was going to Acorns and Threads on Thursday, and that she was just doing a shout out for people who were able to come, who lived in the area. And so I was like, I'm taking that day off. I need a mental health day, like for real. I needed a mental health day. And I'm gonna go. And so it was so much fun. There were a few ladies from the Pacific Northwest who came. Heather, Punky Pearls, Becca, Sambry Stitches, of course, Robin, Lady Robbins, Audrey, Stitchy Witch 42. I'm trying to think. Cheryl of the Stitching with the Sisterlies, she came. Anna, Stitch Roadie, who also brought a friend. Can I miss anybody? I hope not. That would be embarrassing. There weren't that many of us. But anyways, Robin had her husband and son with her because they had some other things that they were doing in Oregon. And then we all shopped and then went over to have lunch at the restaurant that's across the parking lot there. And Janine joined us for lunch. So that was really sweet. She sat at my table because we were a group of 12, and so we had to have 2 tables. And so Janine sat at our table, and it was so much fun. I got to have a really nice conversation with her, and yeah, it was just so much fun. I had a great time. But then along the way home, I had to stop in at several TJ Maxx or Marshalls, because that's where one of the products my daughter uses for facials is, and so I try and pick those up if I see them. And then I was also looking for plant pots, but then I also had to stop in at some of the big box plant stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, and Walmart along the way to see what they had for plants. And let's just say I brought home a few. I got really lucky. I found a Hoya lacanosa, something like that. Yep. It's real. It should have been on the clearance table. It looks real bedraggled. I think it's going to be okay though. I think it's going to be okay. She's pretty. She's over here. But I got real lucky. Okay. I may have brought home 7 plants. I'm okay with it. I have a lot of plants. And then of course, I've been haunting my Lowe's. Okay. I'm going to tell you this plant story, and then we're going to get into cross stitching, I promise. So I'm at our Lowe's, like after I get my facials done with my daughter, there's a Lowe's that is real close. And so I'm like, a week before, I had bought like a bunch of pots to replant in and some other things. And I had repotted what I needed to. And then I have a bunch of plant pots left over because what I do is I plant my pots in the containers that have drain holes and everything in them, and then I put those into cash pots. So a cash pot is like, I don't even have a cash pot here. A cash pot is like just a pot that you put the plant in, right? And sometimes they might have drain holes in them. A lot of times they don't. It's like a stone, pot or something like that. I use milk glass for some of my pots, for some of my plants. Because the white and the green really show up. It's pretty. And so anyways, I was looking for cash pots to put my plants in. Where was it going with this? So anyways, when I repot, I keep the previous pot because then the smaller plants can go in those anyways. I keep all that. And so I looked at the stash that I had, and I was like, I'm going to take some of this back because, I can either use it for cross stitch money or more plant money. So I took them back. Well, when you take things back, you've got to go and have a look and see what they got, right? So on the clearance plant practically last gasp of life table, they had a Hawaiian spider plant, and it was incorrectly named, and it looked bad. It looked bad. There was so much more dead on it than alive, but it had new shoots coming out of it. It had new growth. So I knew I was going to be able to bring it back, even if I had to like take that sucker down to almost nothing. And so I brought it up. It had no price tag. And so I brought it up to the cashier and I said to her, I'm really sorry, there is not another one. You guys have bigger ones that are out there, but they're regular price. And this is not that, it's not that size. And she goes, well, I can't give it to you unless there's a price, so if you can go back there and find one, that's comparable, and then take a picture of the UPC, and then I'll give you the discount off of that. And I'm like, first of all, as a customer, I'm thinking that that's when you called the sales clerks to, I don't know. But I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to tell you right now that there is not another one, because I did look, and so is there like maybe a manager or somebody that we can talk to about figuring out what the price of this is? And she was like, yeah, sure. So, we called the manager over, but just before she calls the manager, she looks at me and she goes, you know that there are better, healthier plants back there. Like, why would you buy, why are you buying this one? And I'm like, oh, and I'm trying to play it off. And I'm like, like, I like saving the dead ones, seeing if I can get them back to life, no big deal. It's kind of fun for me, whatever. And she goes, well, what would you do to bring it back? And I'm like, I'd cut off all the dead stuff and maybe, take it out of its original pot and put it in some new planting soil, blah, 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 right? Manager finally comes over. I get this plant for $4, right? So I kind of look at her and I'm like, so for $4, that I can save this plant versus buying another one for $25. I'm okay paying the $4. And she goes, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. But I was like, girl, I know that there's healthy plants back there. Had to walk past them to get to the last gasp table. I was dying laughing. Anywho, okay. Is that all my life blabbings? I'm thinking it is. Okay. The other thing that I do want to talk about really quickly is I do have a Buy Me a Coffee link in my description below, and I want to thank the people who have supported my Buy Me a Coffee link recently. I am just so overwhelmed. You guys are just so very generous, and thank you very much. That money will go towards finishing. I have a couple of pieces over at Acorns and Threads for Jolynn, the finisher over there, and so I'm hoping soon that she'll get those, and that she'll call me and ask kind of what I'm envisioning for those finishes, and then do her magic. So thank you so much for supporting that, because finishing is expensive, you guys. Yeah. So is buying Crossstitch. It's not. No, it's fine. Okay, and then I did have a question on or a request really on my last Flosstube. I forgot, I did not name my what is this, Fat Quarter Shop Floss Frenzy Weeks Dye Works. I did not actually say their names, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. This one here is Lilac, pretty. This one here is Peoria Plum. That's so pretty. Oh my gosh, are we 25 minutes in and I've blabbed? This one's Ultraviolet. I told you there was a lot of blabbing, sorry. And then this one's Purple Rain. How pretty is that? That's beautiful. And then this one is Amethyst. And this is Iris, one of my grandma's favorite purples. So that is what that is. Okay, let's get into some cross stitch. I had to look. I have very cryptic notes, because I used to take like long notes so that I would remember everything that I wanted to talk about. Now I take cryptic notes because I do them as I think of them and just put it in my note app. And then I look back later and I'm like, what was that? I don't know. Okay, ink circles. See, now we're in the cross stitch section portion. So ink circles, and this is Reflections of Canada, and this is my focus piece. And I work on this every night, mostly every night. I try to put in at least 2 strands of floss, if not more, as I can. But the last couple of, I have not been able to do well. It is not gone well. Every time I put something in, I've been off. I'm struggling, and I don't know why. But I did get a little bit in. Let me see here. I definitely put this in. This is the area that I had to rip out. I had it over here. And I knew as I was stitching it and got to about here that it was not lining up over here. And I'm like, why is that off? And I kept looking at my pattern, but my working copy of my pattern, I had to split into 2 different pages, and it looked right. It looked, you know, because I had the overlap, and I'm like, I don't understand why this is such a struggle. No, I had it over too much. And so I had to rip this out, and it's left some red thread residue, which I need to find something to just erase that out, basically, and buff it out, whatever you call it. And so, yeah, that's what I've gotten done. So this section should be, I'm really close. No, I am, because this is the maple leaf that's in the bottom here. So this is the bottom. And so I just need to put in a couple of little motifs along here, and this bottom section's done. There's a few little motifs in here that need to go in, and then finish up a little few of the motifs on this side. And then this half basically will be done, and then I just need to do this half, and then it will be finished. I'm looking forward to that, because I have another focus piece I really want to work on. I've not been getting there. Okay, and if you can hear Odin in the background, I'm so sorry. He's snoring again. He hasn't been feeling well. So he's been doing a lot of sleeping recently. The other thing that I've been working on is I do the whip go. I've had some massive fails with the whip go. I didn't get Ann Morrison out at all in July. It's just been too crazy with work, and I just didn't have the time. And so I concentrated on the other whip go piece, which was Frankenstein by the Stitching Book Club. Yeah, the Stitching Book Club on Instagram. And so I finished up. I did get the house. This is part 2, maybe. I think that Frankenstein and the border was part 1. I don't remember, but this might have been part 2. So there was this part, and then down here is the second square. And so I got most of that done. I just need to do the lightning and in there. And then there's a couple of, I ran out of thread. I played thread chicken real good, but I could not get those three stitches in there. So, and then I finished up this over here. So I've gotten my 10 hours in. I did a couple of extra little stitches here and there too, where I had places that needed to be done. So I got my 10 hours in on this. Honestly, I binge watched the rest of Virgin River, and oh, you guys, so I can't wait for season 4. And so I binge watched the rest of that while I was doing this. And then I started another series called The Cook of I don't remember, but anyways, it's a Spanish film that they've dubbed over in English, and they did a really good job. And it's a romancy something. And anyways, it was I binge watched that all day yesterday, all day, while I stitched on that and a little bit on Reflections of Canada. And then the other things that I've really concentrated on is I have a hashtag called Mira Monday Stitching. And so every Monday I post a new little picture for that day. And if you choose to follow that hashtag and stitch Mira on Monday, that would be awesome. I've had some great Flosstubers and Instagram friends who are following and stitching along to that hashtag. And I wanted to talk about Nadine, who is Nads _ Crossstitch. If you're not following her, you should. I'm going to link her down below as well. She does a lot of Miras as well. In fact, she is how I found her. Miras are how I found Nadine. She was stitching on some beautiful, I mean, all the Miras are beautiful, but she had a good amount of Miras in her rotation, and she had been doing one for her mom, which I believe she finished, but she also did, is it English Roses? She just finished it and she posted it on her Instagram, which is also is Nads, NADZ _ Xstitch. And she posted that on her Instagram, and it's gorgeous. Like it is gorgeous. It is not one I have in my stash, but she is beautiful, and Nadine did a beautiful job on her. So if you're interested in watching a Flosstuber who also has nice long videos like I do, I stitched to her. It's lovely. She did a whip parade. Cool. I love seeing her stuff, and she's had a couple of videos just recently, and so again, I like stitching along to the longer videos. The short ones I really have to pay attention to because she shows so much stuff. But the longer ones, you know, it gets a little more spaced out, and there's more talking and stuff, and so I don't have to look up all the time and get distracted and put in wrong stitches in my projects. Anywho, and Molly West, Sensible Stitcher, she's also doing a Mira for Mira Monday. There's a couple other people who are doing that, and so it's just been a lot of fun to see and watch the progress week to week. Some people are doing one Mira and doing that one monogamously, sure, and not me. I am bouncing on all of the Miras that I have in my whips. And I think this day I might start a new Mira just cause I just can't. And Sarah, Memphis Sarah E, who on Flosstube might also be her Instagram name. She is the reason why I got Thanksgiving Harvest Fairy, the kit that she showed in one of her Flosstubes, and she's also a Mira lover, and so she had made a message on my my Flosstube last time. She made a comment on my Flosstube, my last Flosstube, and said that her and Mary Ashcroft, who is also on Flosstube, they're starting that September 1st, and they invited me to that. So I'm going to do that because I'm going to shop my stash of fabric and decide which one, because I won't use the linen in the kit. So, okay, all that to say, Mira Mondays, there were 2 since we last were together. And so one Monday I picked up Ella, the Frog Princess. And this one I am doing for my granddaughter, whose name is Ella. And this was a not a great stitchy night. So let's see if you can see. Oh, I don't have a before picture. I should have had a before picture. Basically, I got in 3 rows of this color. That's all I got done. if you blink, you'll miss it. Like, for real. That's what I got done. It was not, it was a hard week, you guys. It was a hard week. So this is done on, oh, what is this done on? It is a 16 count Ada. Let's see if I know what it is. This was before I started writing them down. I don't have it in my bag. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know. The other person that you should, if you like to see some progress on a Mira, Dizzy Stitcher, Darren, is doing Archangel, and he's doing a fantastic job. I mean, the floss that he chose for, the fabric he chose for Archangel is just gorgeous, and I'm enjoying watching his progress. And then the other one that I picked up and I did a little bit more in was Alice. And I like Alice too. She's really pretty. Also, probably going to my granddaughter. Though by the time I finish stitching these, she might not get anything. Be like, I slaved away and I'm going to need to keep these. But I put in a ton in this area here, so all of this is new, and this is done on also a 16 count Ada. I don't know who. That's really bad. But that is legit all my stitching. I know it's I almost lost my needle. It has been hard. I haven't even watched a whole lot of Flosstubers because, you know, when you get behind and you have your favorites, and then you've got to binge watch. Well, I've been so tired at night. I've been falling asleep. And I watch them on my TV. And so I've been falling asleep and I'm like, oh no. And I have like 5 Flosstubers that I've slept through. And I'm like, oh no, I need to go back so I can watch them again. It's a struggle. So all that to say, I also do not have a new shout out for Flosstuber. So because I have not been able to watch a whole lot. That TV binge watching of shows has gotten in my way. There's a new series that my daughter told me about, or actually Brendan told me about, that I need to watch. They thought that it was only 2 series and it's 3. And so they've been up late at night because my daughter doesn't get home until 10. So then they watch TV until like 11:30 or whatever. You know, they watch a couple of the episodes. And so they were all like, hey, the season 2, yay, okay, we can go to bed, you know. And it's like, next up, season 3, episode 1. They're like, what? Okay, we'll just watch a little bit of it because, you know, you get really invested. All right, how about we talk about haul? So I don't actually have a whole lot of like things that have come from my clubs, but I did get my Coloring Cotton fabric and floss of the month. So that is what those look like. Are they not pretty? So this one here is called Cherry Wood. Oops. This one here is Sepia. That's so pretty. And then this one here is Moonlight. Oh my gosh, that one is so pretty. And then I also got the Fabric of the Month Club from Coloring Cotton, and this one is called Chickpea. And I'm in their neutrals, so this is a really nice beigey-ish kind of neutral, and yeah, this one's really pretty. It's got some very light cream, I don't know if you can see that. It's got some very light cream variegation in there. It's gonna be really pretty. Oh, it's got some, I don't normally see that in Coloring Cotton. Do you guys see that? Coloring Cotton, like the color didn't go all the way through. There's some specks of the dye. That's all right. It'll probably get covered up by floss in the pattern. So, or it'll just look unique. It's okay. Now, when I went to Acorns and Threads, of course, I had to buy stuff while I was there. And I get the coupon of the month, and it's a booklet that you could get. And I don't utilize it every month because I'm really bad about that. And I'm also fairly bad about asking about it when I go in, because I don't hold the coupon book. Plus, I would always forget it anyways. I forgot my bag, which, you know, it happens. But it was fabric. It was, you got a percentage off of fabric for the month of July. And I did not know that when I went to go and pick out my fabric. So happy surprise for me that fabric was the discount. So, I mean, I had a 50-50. It was either going to be, well, not really a 50-50. It was either going to be floss, fabric, or charts, or, I mean, I don't know what else she does. Like percentage off your whole order, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, it's a good deal. And I enjoy doing it. Anyway, so I picked up, this is Whisper 20 count Ada Zweigart Ada 20 count. I thought I would try that. And then I also got these are 18 count. It's called Vintage Smoky White. And I just loved the, like, look at the color striations in there. I really like that. So I thought that this would be either good for some Halloween pieces, or I have to see. Oh yeah, I think that they'll be big enough. I might put this towards the Thanksgiving fairy, Harvest fairy, Mira. I'm not sure. I don't know yet. And then I picked up an 18 count Wedgwood blue. Now, I don't know what I was thinking, because like I've been trying to collect some 20 counts, because I actually do enjoy working on 20 count. And as long as I have my good light here, I have a lot of really good natural light that comes into this window when I'm sitting here stitching. But for all of my Miras, which I have a lot of Miras, I need to use 16 count so that I can put the beads on. And that's my personal choice. I know that other people have used 18 count. In fact, I'm doing Archangel on 18 count, and praying that the beads fit. I'm gonna make it work. But for the most part, I do 16 count. So I didn't even look in the 16 counts. It also might be because I have a lot of 16 count in my stash, and I was like, And I was more specifically looking for 20 count, and yet I picked up 3 18 counts. It happens. And I'm okay with it. Of course I am. All right, then, oh, okay, let's do floss first. Then I picked up all these pretties. So I had 2 water lilies ordered for the Twisted Mermaids, the latest or the newest couple months ago chart that Mirabilia came out with. And so I got the other 2 Caron water lilies that I needed for that chart. And then before I had gone, I picked up, or I went through a couple of my Mirabilias to see which water lilies I needed. So I picked up those ones that she had in stock. And I tell you, when I got up to the cash register, and like these guys are expensive. I mean, the feel of them is so lovely, but they're not $2.80. So I think they're $5, maybe $6, maybe $7. I don't know. They're a lot, and I had 9 of them or something. So you know, it adds up real fast. And then I also, let's do the other flosses. I also kitted up one of the patterns that I'll show you in a minute. Here, can you see that? Let's put some white on there. There we go. So I bought a bunch of, who is this? Gentle Arts flosses. There might be some, yeah, no, they're all Gentle Arts. I think because the pattern did just call for Gentle Arts, and then picked up some extras that I knew I was going to need, like black coffee. Okay, and so then I also picked up some patterns. Of course I did. So this one is by Needle House. Oh, for goodness sakes, Needlework Press. And this is their latest one, and it's called Lucinda Fraser 1866, and it's just called A Sample. And what I loved about this is that the original had been stitched on perforated paper, and they have done this in, what is it called for? 37 count wild honey legacy linen. So that's the beauty. So and I mean, the cover is just so beautiful, like the putting it together, and it's just so pretty. Needlework Press does such a beautiful job in staging, and it's just lovely, just lovely. So I don't know that you can find a piece of perforated paper that's that big, because how cool would that be to redo it on a piece of perforated paper? Yeah, anyways, I don't think you can, but so that is one sampler that I found. Then I picked up a couple of Handson Designs. So Kathy, the designer of Handson Design, she is come out with another Halloween series, and this is the first one, called Signs of the Season, Fright This Way. And what I love is that she's done this in 2 different colorways, and I watched her video with her and Mr. HOD, which I think is hilarious. And so she showed these, and I actually really like the second colorway. I like this neutral colorway, and so I'm gonna mix them up, I think, because I do have a Halloween tree, and I think I might mix them up and do some of them in the black and some of them in a neutral. I think it's cool. But yeah, so I picked that one up, and then I got the second in the kitchen counter series that she has, and this is the second one, and it says it came with the house. And I love this. I have a kitchen because it came with the house. My mother relates to this more than I do. I actually enjoy cooking and baking. I don't do it as often as I should, or would like to anymore, mostly because when my kids were growing up, we had some picky food issues, and I hated watching certain people at the table pick through the food, like seriously pick through the food and go, you know, I don't like this and I don't like this. So my kids would always ask what's for dinner, and I would say, yuck, I hate that. Because that was what we got. Anyway, I love the kitchen series, the kitchen counter series, and with each chart she is providing a little extra for that. So that's I am looking forward to that. The other thing I'm really looking forward to, and it hasn't come yet, and that will be part of my haul in another video, but I was fortunate to be able to get her tomato series, or exclusive. She designed it for a Facebook group that is on Facebook. I don't remember what it's called, but certain designers throughout the year will put together something exclusive for that group. And Kathy is from Handson Design, did one that's called Tomato. and I'm really excited to see that. Now, she did put that in a Flosstube video a little while ago, and she showed the whole entire thing. I don't know that you can get it anymore. It's probably all sold out. I have no idea, but I'm excited to get it. So, and then what other charts did I get? I got With Thy Needle and Thread, the Jackolantern Jubilee. Oh, it's so excited to get this. So Lady Robin, she had picked up the last copy that was in the new bin. And she knows my love of Halloween. And so anyways, when you can have things put aside in a bag at Acorns and Threads, and they hold it until you come in, right? And she had this in her bag. And so she came over to me and she said, did you find another copy of that? And I said, I did not. And she goes, well, you can have this one. And so yay. So I got the last one that they had in at least the new. I hadn't looked around the store to see if they'd had some more copies somewhere else, but so Lady Robin gave this to me. But there's so many great patterns in here. I'm so looking forward to stitching on them. I mean, this one back here, this Ghosts and Goblins, I love this pillow. I love it, love it, love it. So cute. And this little witch, I mean, how cute is she? She's cute. So, and I'm not a cat, I'm a dog person. I'm allergic to cats, and so I like cats. I love kittens. They're adorbs. But we don't have cats because I'm allergic, and so I don't typically stitch things with cats in them because we're dog people. And but I love this one here, and I am going to do that one. I really like that. So that's that. All right. And then of course we've all heard in the Blackbird design community that Barb had passed away from cancer. Cancer's crappy, and takes very good people, and so of course my heart and prayers go out to Barb's family as well as Alma and the stitching community as a whole. For Blackbird Designs, they definitely lost somebody who is really, from all accounts, from what I've heard, I've never met her, a very, very sweet, kind, giving person. And again, cancer sucks. But as Brenda and Laura from Brenda and the Cereal Starter on Flosstube say, buy all the Blackbirds. And not because of the passing of Barb did I buy Blackbirds. I've been buying them regardless, and who knows, you know, what is going to be going on with Blackbird in the future. But regardless of that, I just pick up charts that speak to me and I really like, and that I want to stitch in the future, or I'm hoping to stitch in the future. And so I went through what I do have and a list of what I might like. And so I picked up these that were in stock at Acorns and Threads. And if you're looking for some Blackbird design charts, Janine and her staff have a really good selection of Blackbird designs. So if you're looking for something, maybe give them a call. But I picked up the Gardener. I thought that this was very appropriate for me because I'm trying real hard to have a green thumb. And this is the Garden Club series. Now I'm not going to purchase every one in the series because they don't all speak to me, but I'm going to do the ones that do. So that was the first one. This is also from the Garden series, and it is called The Fairy Garden, or just Fairy Garden. And that one's really pretty too. Really pretty. I don't remember which one I kitted up. I don't remember. Anyways, okay. I also got Give Thanks because I love Thanksgiving. We celebrate 2 Thanksgivings here, the Canadian one and the American one. and so I just love that. And then on the back, there's a pin cushion that's also included in this chart. So I bought that. And then Elizabeth Jane. I'd actually been looking for Elizabeth Jane for a while. And this is an Anniversaries of the Heart. And again, there are several Anniversaries of the Heart that I am picking to do. And I really, really liked Elizabeth Jane. And then on the back, there's a bonus chart. I love that bonus chart. Like, look at this. I mean, this is so pretty. It looks, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like a peacock. If you look at it real, you know, it just looks like a big peacock with its, I love this. I love it. It speaks to me. And then Swan Lake. I also had been looking for Swan Lake for a while. And this is Anniversaries of the Heart as well. And I love this. Oh, it's so pretty. The colors and these two swans down in the bottom. You see those two swans in the bottom? I just love that. And then there's a bonus sampler on the back. So I got those for my added stash of Blackbird designs. Goodness sakes. And then, you know, not only am I an advocate of buy all the Blackbirds, but I'm also a girl who is like, buy all the Plum Streets. So, just a second here. Oh, that got caught. Oh, I do not like these plastic bags, Sam, I am. So, the first one that is Plum Street Samplers, and this is Plum Street Antiques. And this one is called 1837 Crown Sampler. And what attracts me to these is that they're all you can use Ada on these samplers. And there's no 1/1 except for, like, there might be some back stitching in there. But for the most part, if there is any 1/1, it is so minute that either I can not do it or figure a way out to do it. So, but I love this. There's so much going on here. There's so much going on here, and I love it. I love it. So that's one. I picked up Gobble. Again, another little small Thanksgiving piece. Now this one is 125 by 127, and it was done on 40 count. One strand of silk over 2 linen threads. There's nothing, no 1/1 in that piece. So I got that one. And then this one here, which is Ruby Owl's Sampler. And I love that. The colors are so super cute. Now, this one has, the owl's eyes are 1/1, and then there's some straight stitch on the leash of the dog. I might, in the owl, with the eyes being 1/1, I might just put a bead in there, or I'll figure it out. I mean, it's okay if that's the worst it is. And this one is a 180 by 72. Oh, I forgot to tell you what the crown one was. That one's a little bigger. It's 294 by 229. It's a little bigger. But I mean, this is, and the colors are so fall. I love that. I love that. And then this one I was so excited to get. So excited to get. This is the Queen Sampler and Elizabeth I by Plum Street Samplers. And this one says, "The end crowneth the work, Elizabeth I." And I watch a channel on YouTube called Reading the Past, and it's her name is Dr. Kat, and she does these like 25-minute videos of Tudor history, basically. And I love Tudor history, and I have learned quite a bit from her. You know, you can watch the Tudors on Netflix or YouTube or Hulu or whatever, wherever they are, Amazon Prime. I don't know exactly where it's at, but one of those. You can watch the Tudors, and you know, there's a lot of true history in there, and then there's a lot of embellished history, right? And so and sometimes the period isn't correct, or you know, they don't have the facts right. Who knows? It's entertainment, and it's lovely. But when I watch Dr. Kat from Reading the Past, and I will link her below, because if you're looking for history and want to learn some stuff, she's really interesting. And then there's from her, I also found some other YouTubers who do history regarding the Tudors, the Tudor period. And you know, I've read the books, and I really like the Tudor history, or the Tudor period. It fascinates me. So when I saw this one, I was so excited, because you know that I've got a couple of Hades that I've got. I've got Henry VIII, I've got Anne Boleyn, and I've got Elizabeth. And then in the Primitive Hare, I have the 6 Wives of Henry VIII. I want to say that I have another something related to Anne, Henry, and Elizabeth. I don't remember. Anyways, I was so overjoyed when I found this. So that's what I got. Then I was watching Trixie's Tricycle, I think is the Flosstube name. It's Jody. She also lives here in the Pacific Northwest, and I was watching one of her I think probably her latest Flosstube, and before I fell asleep. She was talking about the DMC book that is back in stock on the DMC website, that has the threads, the actual threads, wrapped threads in the book. Now mine, this one that I bought a long time ago, it just is the laminated, you know, just the colors. It's nice to have the threads. I have an old DMC book that has the original threads, you know, back before they brought out the new 35 colors and all of the 300s, and yeah, it's fairly old, like from the very early 90s. And so I have that, but it's definitely not up to date. And so when she mentioned that, I went to the DMC website and I purchased that. So if you're looking for that, I don't know if there's any more in stock, but if you're looking for one of those books, they were there. And in order to get free shipping, I had to, like, I got 10% off or 20% off the website that day that I ordered. Or maybe it was for new orders. I don't know. Anyways, I got 20% off. So that kicked me out of the free shipping. So I had to like buy some flosses, and I had to. So I just went and grabbed a pattern that was close to me and saw which ones I was missing, and basically bought those and a couple of extras, and got to the free shipping. So what I would have paid in shipping, I paid in floss. So yay me. So just that if you're looking for that. And then my other piece of haul, I told you guys last time, I have a lot of plants, and many of my plants come home with fungus gnats from whatever store I purchased them from. And so I don't know where I found these, who recommended them. I'm not sure. It could have been on Facebook. It could have been my daughter. I don't know. But I originally bought some, these are sticky tape bug catchers for plants. You know, they're not going to catch a fly or anything like that. They're not, I mean, they might, but they catch fungus gnats and other little insects that fly in your plants. And I had to laugh because I was watching Emily C's plant tour video, which, by the way, if you have not watched her plant video, it's pretty cool if you're a plant person. And I was laughing because she's like, oh, and I'm gonna need some more of these things because, oh, we just saw a fungus gnat fly out. I was cracking up because I'm like, I have that problem too. But so anyways, these double-sided sticky fungus gnat catchers, I showed my Yodas last time, and then these are the Pikachu ones. And so I elevated myself just a touch to the little, because she's a Pikachu. She is a Pokemon lover. And so I elevated myself by getting these cute little Pikachu. And you can see there's his little, yeah, he cute. Anyways, 50 in a pack for $13, I think it was. And they look like this. Let's see. I have a plant with one in it right here. This one here. Oh goodness. I think I put some water in that just the other day. This one is called Dark Mystery. I'm having problems. But see, you just stick that sucker right down into the pot. And I only took off one side. I didn't take off it's double-sided sticky tape. And I only took off the one side because I find it, depending on the pot and how big the area that I can put the sticky tape in, the leaves will cling to the stick, and I've lost a few. So yeah, I'm trying to be kind to the plant. So I just do it on the one side, and it works. Yeah. Oh, and okay, just one more plant thing, I promise. So with my little Hoya, let's see if I can get her down here. Okay, did you know this? Oh, sometimes I am not the sharpest tool in the shed, okay? I am not. And so they come, you know, the hanging plants, they come, she's not doing well. They come in these, you know, pots, and then the bottom has a saucer, and it will collect the water if you choose to water from above. I do not. I water from the bottom. That's not true. My hanging plants, I don't water from the bottom, but most of my plants I'll water from the bottom. And my daughter jokes that I've gone from you know, sticking thermometers up baby butts to sticking thermometers in my plants. I mean, it is to see if their soil is wet or dry. It's not if they're healthy or not, just wet or dry. Because I tend to overwater. I overlove my plants sometimes. Anyways, okay, so they come, you know, with these and the little saucer. Not the sharpest tool in the shed all the time. So I've been pulling the saucers off the pot, you know, so that they drain down, and when I water from the top and I hang it, I have a little thing over my utility sink that I can actually hang the plant and let it dry. And but then the struggle is being to get the saucer back onto the pot. Well, one day I was doing that, and I just happened to like twist, and it went on, and I was like, and it stayed, and I was like, oh, okay, that's brilliant. And then I was like, wait a second, Lisa, if it went on that way, does it come off that way? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So just a PSA for all of you, if you're like me, not saying you're not the sharpest tool, but I sometimes am not the sharpest tool, that you can just twist, and the saucer comes right off. I also had okay, one more plant story. So I'm in Home Depot and I'm looking at these plants, and they did not look very well, but there was a plant that I was sort of interested in. So I took it out of its, because it came with a planter pot, and I took it out and I'm looking at it and I'm putting it down, and I'm, you know, standing back and I'm kind of looking at it and picking it up, and I'm looking to see if it's root bound or whatever. And, you know, sometimes you can tell by the soil, the health of the plant and whatever. I had this lady come up to me and she goes, you do know that the plants come with the pot, right? And I'm like, yes. And she goes, well, why would you take it out of the pot? And I'm like, because you can't see what the plant looks like underneath, if it's root bound or not inside the pot. I was like, I must have a sign. I don't know. Maybe she thought I was trying to take just the plant. I don't know. I'm sure people do that, but I was kind of laughing. I was actually a little offended. I was like, I was gonna say, like, do you work here, or like, I don't know what's happening. Okay. Anywho, I'm done for plants. Okay. How about we talk about the giveaway? Yes. So, if you've made it this far, you're going to find out who actually won the giveaway. So, Pamela Kellogg of Kitty and Me Designs reached out to me when I showed this pattern in a couple of floss tubes ago. And she reached out and said, I would love to give 3 of your viewers a chart, a PDF chart from my Etsy shop, if you would like to do that. And I said, I am certain that my subscribers would love to have an opportunity to get one of your PDFs. And so, because I did not know that she had an Etsy shop, I went onto her Etsy shop, and you guys, for real, there are some beautiful charts on there. She also has a Facebook, or there's a Facebook group that's dedicated to Kitty and Me Designs, and on there are some free charts. So if you're interested, and you have Facebook, did I say Flosstube? I meant Facebook. Go and get yourself in that group, because that was, I spent a good little while going through the comments and seeing people's posts and checking out the free, and that was really cool. So anyways, the giveaway, thank you to Pamela for being so very generous. And there were 48 commenters who said kitty, because kitty was the magic word. And then I did the random comment picker, and I will put the names up here if I can remember. Name here. The first one was Padma. I'm sorry, Padma. You got a chart, or you can contact Pamela and you'll get a PDF chart. Jasmine and Sherry Bisbee. So congratulations to the 3 of you. If you will email me, I will then forward your email on to Pamela, and then she'll get in contact with you to make arrangements on how to get those charts to you. So congratulations to the 3 of you, Padma, Jasmine, and Sherry Bisbee. You are the winners of the 3 charts, and so I hope you reach out to me. My information is down below. You can just send me an email, and like I said, I will forward that email off to Pamela, and you guys can make arrangements. So plans going forwards, I did a thing last weekend when I went to go get my hair done in where I go to get my hair done, and across the street, well, not too far down the street, is a Hobby Lobby, and I have been eyeing this piece of furniture for quite some time. Not that one, this one in the picture. And I finally bit the bullet and bought it. So Yesterday I spent some time and I did some organization, and I moved out what I had here that I thought was going to be a better option, but it is not. And so I moved it into here, and I'll show that here. So that pretty is up in here, and it holds my DMC flosses, the organization that I used to have in a different thing. And yeah, so that's what I did yesterday. I did some organizing, and I'm getting to the point that I can almost maybe do a craft room tour, maybe by the fall. I still have some other things to do, and I would like to get this piece painted as well, so that I can do not only just a cross-stitch tour, a cross-stitch tour, but also the sewing room tour. And behind me I have a bit of a mess, so but in the hashtag common threaded stitcher, there will be some posts that, you know, my favorite stitchy spot, which is here, so you'll see a picture of that, my stash, you know, like things like that, the prompts for the day. So you'll get little glimpses in August on the area, but the full one won't be until probably the fall. Speaking of, Kim, the Contented Stitcher, did a tour again of her craft room. Oh, you guys, I really would like to just go to her craft room and have some coffee, and yeah, it's just so, it's filled with such beautifulness, and it's so cozy, and just it's pretty. So if you have not watched that video, go check out that video. It's 10 minutes of eye candy, just deliciousness. Okay, again, no Flosstube list, no new shout out yet, spotlight on a stitcher yet. Hopefully in my next video I will have actually been able to binge watch a new Flosstuber and talk about that person, because I love doing that. It just hasn't been, summertime's hard, so summertime's hard. So okay, that's it for me. Thank you so much if you've watched to the end. I appreciate you all, and I hope that you either got some stitching done or enjoyed the blabbings and the small amount of stitching I got done. I hope you all stay safe and healthy during our latest rise in numbers. And that if you've been vaccinated, you've gotten over whatever symptoms you've had, and if you haven't got vaccinated and you're thinking about it, go do that. You know, just stay safe and healthy, and I hope to see you all in the next 2 weeks. Until then.